All right. Welcome back. My name is Mike.
My name's Rob.
And this is Generic, episode 6. How you feeling, Robert?
Feeling pretty good. Been a stressful week, but I can't even talk tonight.
Yeah,
when isn't it?
When isn't it? You know, we're happy to be here. You know, we're back in the swing of things, relatively speaking.
We've had some technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Just like last time.
We're only running like 4-ish hours behind, I think, so it's we're good. We're good on that. But yeah, we got a pretty solid episode today. We got a special guest that we know, and some of you guys might know as well. We're super excited to bring her on. Should we just go ahead and, introduce her?
I think that's the best way to do it.
All right, well, just do a little rundown, a little summary of who she is. She's a master of the human anatomy, not necessarily by choice. She's a Disnoid that can name just about any Disney song ever and sing it too. She's an independent yet sociable gal. Please welcome Samantha Slovensky.
Woo! Yay! Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing, Sam?
Good. I did not expect that introduction. That's actually a really awesome introduction you wrote down.
I tried.
Yeah.
We try to treat our guests with respect in this household.
Yeah.
They were disrespecting the hell out of me earlier, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you should have heard it. That's why we don't record it.
That was in your contract.
Yeah,
so...
right. I signed a contract for you here. Mm-hmm.
You are my girlfriend.
Yes.
So if I act a little nervous, that's why. But yeah, I think this is gonna be probably our first post with a guest, so it's pretty special.
A little nervous.
R.I.P. to Riley.
Peter Riley. Yeah.
We love you, Riley.
Love you, Riley.
Shout out, Riley.
We'll get it next time. But how you feeling?
Nervous.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to talk about myself.
Yeah. You narcissist, you.
It's kind of funny seeing how we're always so tense at the beginning, and then as you listen, it just loosens up.
Yeah.
It's like we've done this before, so why are we so nervous?
Yeah, right.
Because I see it's recording.
And it's like us three, so we know each other, so it's comfortable,
But we want to get the show.
Yeah, exactly. Hi.
Well, I think the best way to get started is you just kind of introduce yourself. Like, who are you? Who even are you?
Who is Samantha
gosh.
Slovensky?
I am a Raleigh native. I'm 26 years old. I work in finance for a local urgent care.
Wow.
And I just love Starbucks and Disney. And as he stated earlier, I know a lot about human anatomy. And I did not consent to knowing all of it. But had some health struggles right around the age of 20 and learned a lot about the kidneys. And I'm excited to share a lot about that today.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that can be like a great segue if you think you want to kind of just talk about.
Well, we got questions of the day.
Oh, this is
right.
We
got questions of the day. We got questions of the day.
Before we get into the juicy stuff, let's get into the juicy stuff.
It's been a long setup.
It's been a long setup. I'm just off rails, so because we talked about it. But for those who don't know, we like to post on Instagram and be like, hey, ask us some questions.
I asked a few today, not gonna lie.
You did. You helped out. Mm-hmm. I asked people to ask questions as well, just for some help, and they came in through. Kings. Shout out Will and Jace. But yeah, I guess we'll get started. I got them pulled up here. Just so happens that yours are the first 3. So
yeah, that's great.
First one, fave TV show and why? You're the guest. You want to go first?
Oh gosh.
You asked it.
I asked it. I didn't think I would be answering it. I don't know. I think my favorite TV shows. I'm gonna say 2. One is Orange is the New Black.
Oh, I thought that was the name of the show. I was like, what is 2?
No.
I was so confused.
My first one is Orange is the New Black because I think that was like the one I discovered myself. And then the other one that I really, really loved that I got introduced to earlier in the year or like last year was Breaking Bad. Ooh. Those are my top 2. And it's just because the plot line. Oh, this guy named Mike.
Ooh. Okay, sorry. Sorry. Why? Why are they?
I don't know. I think just like the characters and then like the storyline. Like you don't have a character that makes like a huge leap into being like so stupid. Like I feel like there's in TV shows they take one character and they're like, oh, this person's gonna be like the dumb blonde of the show. Yeah. And then they start out being like kind of ironically stupid, and then by the end they're like, oh, what color is the sky? And it's like those kind of character developments are annoying to me, but like these shows made developments in characters that were a little more exciting.
Yeah. You said that about what's the guy from The Office?
Kevin.
That's
Kevin, yeah. I also, and I mean, you guys don't watch this, but I also said that about Glee. If there's any Gleeks out there.
And everyone just stop listening.
Everyone. We lost viewers. Anyways, Rob, go ahead.
Yeah, I would have to say kind of like her too, but if I did have to pick, and you might hate me for this,
Oof.
I got introduced to Friday Night Lights.
I knew it.
This
is where I leave the show.
I got introduced to that show by my girl, Brianna.
Shout out, Bree.
I think I just like that show because I feel like in a lot of shows nowadays, they have like 30-year-olds playing high schoolers.
Yeah.
But in this show, they genuinely had like high school age or high school looking actors, and it went through all the struggles of high school, all that fun stuff. And it was a football team, state championship, the struggles of, getting pregnant, drugs, I believe, like being a coach, the adversity you have to overcome. And I don't know, I just really like that show. It shows like the true life, especially being football is my favorite sport.
Where can you watch that?
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, he's recommended it. I mean,
I know. I've heard him say it. So
you get hooked for sure.
Now I'm kind of like, should I try it?
Yeah.
It's really like it's about football, but it's like so much more than
about
football.
Family.
Yeah.
About family.
At this point in time, I'm rewatching The Office, so I'm kind of looking for something to.
We do have to pick a new show because
we do.
We currently just finished You.
Oh, we
the
did.
First
Yeah.
part of the fourth season, so
give that a shot.
Outer Banks comes out tomorrow, though.
What'd you say, Mike?
I think everyone kind of knows my favorite show ever.
Yeah.
Well, I guess honestly maybe two that I will always recommend, and I don't know if I would recommend Stranger Things, just because nostalgic reasons. It kind of like came out like a really good time in my life where I was just like alone, and I was like, this show came out, so I was just like, I binged it. I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
And just like the whole like throwback to '80s kind of thing. I like felt really like not relatable, but like drawn towards it. And then True Detective season 1. I haven't watched the other seasons, but
that was really good.
That was really good. I'm a big Matthew McConaughey fan, as you guys may know. But that's a really, really good show, and the acting is really good. So yeah.
Wow, that was a good question.
5. Good.
That could be an episode in itself.
It really could. Second one is, what's your go-to cocktail or alcoholic beverage? We'll just keep going in a circle, I guess?
Yeah, we'll go in a circle. Yeah.
I guess it'd be a triangle. Sorry. I was like, go ahead.
Can y'all shut up? Anyway, so I think my go-to, I mean, if I were put on the spot, I would say vodka cranberry. I know my sister, her like go-to cocktail is like, it ranges. So like for one, I guess, month we were doing like margaritas, and then the next month we were doing Long Island iced teas. So like, I really kind of base myself off of my sister Wendy,
the bartender
of the group. Yeah.
So what would you say yours right now? You said.
I think that if I were in a bar, and like you came up to me and you're like, "What do you want to drink?" I'm gonna go order drinks. I would just off the top of my head say vodka cranberry. Yeah.
It's good.
It is good.
And you feel like it's like kind of healthy in a sense too.
Yeah, cause it's good for the kidneys. Cranberry.
Exactly.
What about you, Rob?
I was thinking because there's so many options, but I think just the classic, like, whiskey mixed with some Coke. Yeah. Whiskey and Coke, I don't even know what the proper name is.
Jack and Coke.
Jack and Coke.
Yeah,
that's the most common name. Just simple, easy drink, no real ingredients besides the two, and it gets you pretty fucked up pretty quickly. Yeah. I would know a lot.
And that's the name of the game.
Yes,
I should have one right now, but I would say that.
Yeah. I think Jack and Coke, I'm kind of on the way. It's like simple. I like the taste of Coke and whiskey. Like whiskey is good, but like it's kind of.
Is Crown whiskey?
Tough. It's a Canadian whiskey, yeah.
I heard whiskey was designed, or someone Nick told me it's really good with Sprite. Whiskey was designed to be with the Sprite. I've never given it a shot. Everyone thinks Coke, so I'm going to have to try Sprite.
I remember when I worked in a bar, people would order whiskey and water, and I'd be like, what?
Just put ice
water down, I guess.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
That makes me want to puke.
Yeah, my mom likes whiskey. Next question?
Yes.
Do you have any secret talents?
Well, okay, I didn't expect to be answering this.
Yeah, do you?
I thought that you guys were going to be answering this because I've been wanting you guys to talk about what you can do. But I think my hidden talent, I can sing a little bit. I would never, if you asked me like, hey, can you sing? Like, hop up here and get on the mic. I would not be like, yeah, throw me the mic. I can totally sing. Like,
you're mic shy?
Yes, I am. I'm so mic shy. Like if we were to go do karaoke right now, I would not speak. I would not be singing. I would be
Get a couple
encouraging
more
everyone
drinks in you.
else. Yeah, I would be exactly.
You are a very good singer, though.
I would be encouraging everyone else to go sing, but I can sing. Like I did theater in high school and I did choir and everything. But those are my really only talents. I think is talents.
Still a talent.
Plural.
Yeah.
It was just one.
Yeah.
It's just singing.
Still.
Yeah. I can name all of the presidents in order.
You can.
I can actually.
That's a secret talent. Honestly.
That is actually a secret
That's
talent.
hard.
Yeah.
We'll do a history episode.
Yeah.
So we'll get you on.
I'm just in the background. Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison.
Know the song? I didn't even know there. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Special talents, kind of like you. Like this question, just kind of. I never really think about my talents. I just kind of go on about my day. Like,
you're humble.
A humble king.
shoot. I wish I could say like sports betting, but that
Ain't you
is
down right now?
Yeah, majorly. No, this is a tough question. I'd like to brag. I think I'm a pretty good shot with a gun. Controversial, but
I mean, shoot. There's 2 deer heads on the wall, so yeah, I would say so.
Both killed by his truly.
Yeah.
so I would say that. I mean, obviously, I want to go a lot more, but naturally, I kind of picked up on that fairly quickly, and hopefully
that's true.
get into it.
Yeah,
more.
you really haven't missed.
Yeah.
Except
when
one
were you
time.
gone?
But those were the nerves.
He's really great at the boot scoot boogie also. So
I
there's-
forgot about
yeah,
that.
there's that.
True.
He taught
Nashville
me.
was
So.
insane.
That's right.
Him and Riley. They both.
Credit to Riley though; he was the original.
Yeah, in the
I
Charlotte
think.
living room, I think, right?
Yeah.
Charlotte
Yeah.
living
Yep.
I watched. I don't really think I have one. I probably
Yes,
say,
you do.
What?
Playing guitar.
I guess, yeah.
That's a talent.
It's a talent. It's not sequence.
Hockey,
And yeah, hockey.
skating on knives, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hockey, yeah, and then I guess guitar.
Yeah.
I used to be
Mr. Humble over here.
I used to be into magic a little bit. I used to whip out some card tricks
Oh
and
yeah, I
stuff.
do.
I used to like that.
The first time I went into your like childhood room in your home, you were like, "Look at my magic set."
Oh, mine for Chris Angel.
Chris
yeah,
Angel.
I remember
Yeah.
when we first became friends. It was Macy's boyfriend's. He gave
yeah.
her that for like Christmas or something. She was like, "What?" And I was like,
Yeah,
Thank you.
what?
"Thank you." Yeah, it was like
And he was
two
like,
seasons,
"Thanks."
and I was like, "Robert, you have to watch
We
this."
have to get into this.
Yeah, I recently saw him on like Instagram recently. He's like still at it, but
The
Once you
boyfriend
watch it
or-
back though, you're like, this is kind of like fake as hell.
yeah, but like that's like an 8-year-old like, holy fuck.
Yeah, you're like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah, it's crazy. It's gonna be the longest episode. Next question. Should they change the format of the NBA All-Star Game because it was boring this year? I think this is a good question for you, Samantha.
I really send this over to me because I have a lot of opinions on this.
Yeah.
Actually, no, this is making me a little too heated. I'm gonna like pass this on to Rob. I'm gonna pass this on to Rob.
I wouldn't be telling the truth if I said I even watch it. I don't really watch basketball, but I do know All-Star games are controversial nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, is even worth having. Like, a lot of players aren't wanting to participate. They fake injuries. They want to go on vacation. Who doesn't?
Yeah, I'd rather play vacation.
But I guess comparing it to like the NFL Pro Bowl, which is like essentially the All-Star game, they did flag football this year, and it was actually kind of like a major success. I think because it's something a little different. And it's not tackling because no one really wants to go all out in a tackling Pro Bowl game.
I saw a highlight the other, like it was the kicker in an All-Star game did a fake punt and he ran the ball and he got absolutely annihilated. I showed you that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, you did.
The guy got absolutely annihilated.
It's just like players want a rest on their bodies.
Yeah,
but in terms of basketball, I have no idea what the format is.
Oh my
but I'm going
gosh,
to go ahead
I
and
mean,
say
that
yes.
one guy who like got hit in the chest and had like went into cardiac arrest. Like,
Yeah, imagine that it was during an All-Star game. You're like, bro, no way.
that's terrifying. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so terrifying.
But I know there's like controversy about it because like they wanted to change the way people get picked, so there's no like you pick last or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's all I really know. But you know, Jace, you asked a question. Feel free to comment with your thoughts. And see if
Please,
you
I
agree.
actually want to know because I
Yeah.
have strong opinions about this,
Yeah,
but they're
so-
too strong, so I couldn't
Yeah,
answer.
see if you agree. How many squirrels does it take to change a light bulb?
Did Bree ask this?
It was a will.
Oh,
Well, apparently 3 can't get it done. So,
takes more than that.
Takes more than that.
There were bodies.
So we don't know.
bodies.
Yeah.
More than 3.
More than 3 is our answer.
It's a deadly job too for
Yeah.
them.
Moving on.
Moving on.
What are your long-term career goals?
Oh wow.
Okay,
That's a good one.
make money.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like as somebody who has incurred a lot of like medical bills and will incur a lot of medical expenses throughout the rest of her life, I just want to live comfortably and also know that like if my gallbladder starts acting up, I can afford to go have it removed, and like like that's not going to financially devastate me. Like so I don't think I have any like personal career goals. Like I'm not working in a company where I'm like when I worked at Disney, I'm not like working in a company where I'm like, oh, I can see myself moving up and doing all of this stuff. And like I want to move up because it means all of these things. Like I'm working in a company where I'm like, I'm comfortable. I like the people I work with. If I move up, like great, but I just am kind of good with where I'm at right now. And like,
and you'll slowly like steadily increase like money you make the longer you stay.
They'll teach me more. They'll have me do more things. They'll have me like So I just kind of want to grow steadily in where I'm at right now to be able to live a comfortable life.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's all you can ask for, honestly. Kind of same thing as that, but I really have always kind of wanted my own team, like be a manager, because there's been a lot of shitty managers I've seen and dealt with, and I think, you know, I have what it takes to be like a great manager, and I want to be like that type of manager, like, hey, if you need a day off, go take it, like I understand, and just for the people, enjoy the people I work around, because obviously you're going to have to work most of your life to make money, so you might as well have fun. And I've always just seen myself wanting to work my way up, but obviously be rich.
But financially comfortable.
Find a job that I actually love, you know. I think you're spending 40 hours a week minimum a week, so you might as well enjoy what you do. But I'm pretty simplistic, kind of like Sam, just wanting to, you know, live comfortably, have what I want, a lake house. I know that's a rich lifestyle, boats and stuff, nice. But that's my goal. That's all I can really ask for. You know, I don't have to be a millionaire, but I want to be able to enjoy my hobbies without putting a financial strain on myself.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, it's like a combination of both of you guys. I think, like, not having to live for the weekend would be really nice. Like, your work is not necessarily, like...
Be your own boss, maybe?
Yeah, like, you're making money, but, like you said, you're enjoying what you're doing. And so, like, if you have to work, it's not, like, you know, the end of the world. Like, you're not stuck in an office like I am now, where you're just, like, waiting to go home because then you feel free. Like,
staring at the clock.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're riding out the day where, like, if you can find a position where you're, like, you know, you're working, but it's, like, you have a little more passion behind it. So that'd be nice. Obviously, more money. We're all pretty, like, successful, I'd say, like, where we are now. We're very fortunate.
For our age, too.
Yeah. Like,
I feel like a lot of people think that at, like, this age you need to be way more successful than you are and be making way more than you are. But, like, at this age, like, 26, 25... 24, almost 25, and then 25, like, it's just, like, we're where we're at. Like, this is about where we're supposed to be, and I think a lot of people think we need to be further than we are. But, like, we don't have kids. Like, we don't have, like, extra expenses. So, like, the money we're making now is, like, for us, and it's, like, good enough for right now.
That's exactly what you said. Like, we said, like, one of your coworkers, like, you might be getting, like, paid the same, but, like, she low-key has 2 kids to pay for. We're like, all that money just going to yourself.
Exactly.
Like, we got loans eventually.
But
it's, like, those bills and stuff are my sole responsibility, and, like, I don't have to worry about anybody else. Except for when I treat my girl. No, but...
I couldn't imagine kids, like... I can barely save. Like, I'm getting by for sure, and, like, I can save, but I'm not saving nearly as much as I want to.
Even with insurance, it's, like, so expensive to have a child. Like, once you have a baby, like, that baby is a person. So you don't even think about this, but, like, when you're, not to talk about babies on here, but when you have a child, like, that newborn is its own person. So, like, it incurs its own hospital bills. So, like, the nurse is watching that baby and changing its diaper and giving it medicine and feeding it. Like, all of this stuff that it has done in the hospital, it, like, I saw a TikTok of these 2 parents who were like, we just got the bill for our newborn son.
Oh, I think you showed me that.
Yeah, and they were like, what? Like, he has his own bill? That's crazy.
I think
I'm 3 days old.
I know, literally. I'm new here.
You pay for it, bro. I think I saw somewhere, like, years ago where it's, like, the average, like, taking care of one kid up to the age of 18, the average cost is, like, $1 million. Like, that's how much you spend on, like,
I think
one
that's
kid.
including what we learned in, like, economics, like, not just actual money, but opportunity costs. Like, for those that don't know what opportunity cost is, it's like stuff you miss out on that's not necessarily like money based, but if you put a money estimate on it, it's essentially what you're missing out on. Like, I guess maybe vacations, job time, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
A lot
why
of
like
dedication, just like a dog goes into it.
like my parents now when they go on hella vacations and like they don't have to bring the kids anymore. I'm like, good for y'all. Like that, like those like years of like the past like Lily's like 16 now. The past like probably like 14 years of like having to worry about where your kids are and stuff, and like not being able to
having to like find childcare for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like,
that's another topic too. Childcare.
Yeah. That's why my mom just be going to the beach by herself.
My mother is ready to be to watch children. Like she really is.
It's crazy.
I mean,
I feel like because they miss them.
Yeah,
they just moved out.
That's exactly it. Like once that's like what women go through when they have babies is like you totally forget that pain. Like that pain is totally out of your mind because like once you see that baby, you're like, oh my god,
Mother Nature.
It's my baby. So you're like, I want another. And that's why women have so many babies. They forget all of the pain that they've been put through and they want more.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, babe, no. No.
Don't worry, I'm already gonna be like, no.
Yeah.
But my mom, like, it's not even like she takes care of my grandparents right now.
Yeah.
So she's just like,
she's just really
not to be morbid, but
yeah.
once my grandparents have moved on from this world, she's not gonna have really anything to do other than like just kind of go beep bop around town. And like
she's just on vacation.
Go to Kohl's.
They do.
And I know your dad. I feel like your dad really wants to like do that for your mom too.
He does. He's going to Colorado in March.
Yeah.
And he invited her, and she told me and Wendy, and she was like, your dad got invited to Colorado, and he invited me to go. I was like, well,
go.
Yeah, I was like, well, you could go, because like Wendy and I would watch the animals, and we would do all this stuff for you.
Yeah.
But anyways. What was the original question?
Long-term career goals. So we're all kind of on the same page. We're okay where we're at, but if we can, move our way up, happiness-wise.
Long-term career goals. I want to be able to afford to live the American dream.
Yeah.
That's like.
But that's controversial. Is that even still a thing nowadays?
True. You're right.
That's another topic.
White picket fence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe.
Why not chain link? No shit. Any
more questions? Because it's taking like.
Yeah. It's gonna be a long episode.
Yeah. How many more we got?
One
or should
more.
we just one more?
Who runs this page?
Me.
Anonymous. Samantha.
No, I'm just kidding. It's not me.
A third party.
A third party that we cannot name due to contracts. Okay. Cool.
Great.
Well, Samantha, it is a pleasure to have you.
Great.
There's a fly in here.
There's a fly in here.
We're still dealing with some repercussions from the squirrels, so it's I think we're.
Prehistoric sized flies is the repercussions of the squirrels.
You're not a guest, bro.
Get out.
Oh, wow.
You can't say that on the air.
I think we want to kind of talk about Samantha now.
I think that's probably good.
So nerve-wracking.
What do you think? Like, I'm just trying to find a way to just dive in. You have such like a unique story that a lot of people, especially at 25.
Well, first question: thoughts on the Communist Manifesto?
I decline to answer.
Fair enough. Moving on. I mean, as a lot of people may know, a lot of people may not know, you have...
If you know me, you know this.
Yeah. You have 3 kidneys.
One is from a 32-year-old man. His name is Brad.
Yeah, I guess I kind of want to, have like a little, summary thing here to kind of break it down. But I just want to see like your kidney transplant story. Kind of like, what was the origin of that? Like, kind of how it started, and like where you kind of, if you're willing.
Oh no, I mean that's why I'm here. It's just like trying to pinpoint all of it. So
yeah, it's a lot.
It was. I actually remember the exact day because you never remember or you never forget the like day that your life kind of flashes before your eyes. But it was March 6th of 2017.
You okay?
Yeah. Oh my god. And I was a sophomore in college at the time, and I was going to Wake Tech, and I remember that like it was like a few years beforehand, I had been complaining to my mom that like my heart rate was just like sky high. Like I literally could walk down the stairs and like my heart rate was at 120. If you know anything about how your heart rate is supposed to be, 120 is your active heart rate. So if you're working out and you're running, that's about your average active rate. Yeah. And when you're resting, it's like 60. But mine, like, my resting was like 120. So I was already in, they call it tachycardia, is like a fast heart rate. So I was already in that for a few years, but my pediatrician hadn't, like, given that information to my mom because in his defense, when you see a young child come into the doctor's office and they have, like, high blood pressure or a high heart rate, you're just kind of like, oh, they're nervous to be in the doctor's office. They're
White
not
coat syndrome, I think.
Exactly. They're like, they don't want to be around doctors, so they're nervous. You blame it on that. in his defense. Anyways.
However.
I remember it was like one weekend I was at church and I literally spent the whole service in the bathroom stall over the toilet, like just sick to my stomach, like ill. I could not stop throwing up. I was like, I didn't know if I had the flu or not, or if I just was like, had a stomach bug.
Yeah.
But the next day I woke up. I still lived at home at the time too. I woke up and I went and got in my mom's bed. And when I like laid down beside her, she said she could see my whole body just like moving from like how hard my heart was pumping in my chest.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, like that's not normal. And she was like, Samantha, do you want me to drive you to class? And I was like, yeah, like let's go grab breakfast beforehand. So we drove down the street, we grabbed breakfast, and she's like, let's stop in the Walgreens and like let's just ask them to take your blood pressure. And so we did. And it was 185 over 135, which is like really, really, really bad. And the pharmacist was like, you guys are going to a hospital right now, right? And my mom was like, we are now. And we like got in the car and we started driving, and we went to my pediatrician like initially because she didn't want to drive me like straight to the emergency room. She was like, let's just go see like what he thinks. And he was like, well, I'm going to set you up with a cardiologist. We're going to get you in with him and see what he thinks. And the cardiologist would not even see me until my blood pressure went down.
I feel like, not to interrupt, I feel like it's just annoying sometimes doctors, they don't believe you. Like my grandma, just keep giving her the, runaround. It's like, clearly I'm feeling a type of way, like, why the hell did you go to school if you're not going to help me? And again, they come in, we'll follow up in a couple weeks. It's like,
I cannot
something's
stress
wrong.
enough that, like, doctors were like, I'm very, like, spiritual and, like, very religious. I believe that doctors were given the knowledge by God, because like it does not make sense to me how somebody could take an organ from another person's body, put it in somebody else's body, and like make it work. So like I totally and thoroughly believe that doctors know what they're doing. They've been educated to know what they're doing. But to err is human. Like humans mess up. Humans make mistakes all the time. So
that's
like,
why you got to sign the waivers.
You always have to be on them, and like you always have to know what they're doing. But he was like, we went and we met him, and he said, I'm going to get you in touch with a cardiologist. And we left, and he was like, just go, like, drive around, just hang out, and I'll call you. So we're driving around. I'm laying in my mom's passenger seat of her car, and I'm just like, I don't know what is going on. Like, I was freaking out a little bit because I was like, everything's up in the air right now. And he called us back, and he was like, he's not going to see you until her blood pressure is down, so you need to go to the emergency room. So she takes me to Big Wake. Over where is that, like
by Riley's house, East Raleigh.
So I go to Big Wake and we go in and I sit in the hallway for like 2 hours. They run a bunch of tests on me. I hear a bunch of nurses standing by me going like, oh my gosh, like her blood pressure is really high, like I don't know what blah, blah, blah. Like I hear a lot of whispering.
You don't like that? That's scary.
No, it's very scary. And like, well, I was very out of it. Like at this point, I don't know what happened. It was like I was fine all weekend, and then all of a sudden, the second people were like, your blood pressure is very high, it's like, my body was immediately like, I'm done. It was just like, I'm done. And like, I was just laying on that stretcher, like, I feel the worst I've ever felt in my entire life. And we get taken back to a room, and a doctor sees me, and he's like, we're going to run a bunch of tests on you. We just want to figure out what's going on. And they test me for like the flu, rheumatoid arthritis, Crohn's disease, lupus, all of this stuff. And then like 10 doctors come in and stand at the end of my bed, and this is literally the most triggering thing I've ever experienced in my life. But they were all like, you're in the advanced stages of kidney failure. And I remember immediately my mind was like, I blacked out. I don't remember anything else they said, because at the same time, I was also in massive heart failure. My ejection fraction rate, your ejection fraction is supposed to be 55. Mine was 10. So I was like on death's door.
Oh, wow.
And they were like, you're in the advanced stages of kidney failure. And immediately I was like, I'm dying. I was like, I'm dying. I don't know what's happening. Like, why are my kidneys failing?
And you were what, 20 at the
20,
time?
yeah.
20,
I was 20 years old, a college student. And I was just like, oh my God, this is it. Like, this is what everybody talks about. This is what you see in the movies. I'm the 1 in a million case. Like, what in the world? How is this happening to me, of all people? I remember my Aunt Amy was in there, and she was like, our sweet Samantha just didn't want to complain about anything. And I was like, I feel like I've been telling people for years that, like, my heart has been, like, racing all the time. Like, I thought I just had anxiety. Like, I really was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm just anxious all the time. Like, I need to be, like, prescribed something for anxiety because this is ridiculous. And, like, it ended up being something way worse. And now I'm a case study at Duke because they don't know really, like, what caused what. because your heart and your kidneys are so closely related. Your
Question,
heart.
not to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Do you think if they would have believed you earlier, or like if you went right away, do they think that would have like stopped where
Yeah.
you wouldn't have had to
Yeah.
have all that? They could have
Well,
reversed it. I don't know how that all
Not
works.
reversed it, but they could have caught it before it like affected my kidneys.
Okay.
But that's the thing is
You
like
still would have had like heart issues. Like the whole
I
thing
don't-
was like heart issues at first. That
exactly. I
Wait.
have no idea. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
that's why
So
your
they're
case
all
study.
so closely related.
yeah.
Your heart
Interesting.
pumps blood, obviously. Your
Mm.
kidneys clean blood.
Mhm.
We also found out that I had like a thyroid disease, but like that's not out of the ordinary for women.
Yeah.
Women everywhere have thyroid problems. Like it's
Yeah.
just something that the female race experiences. And but your thyroid does control like everything. So if your thyroid is out of whack, like you need to be on top of that because it will throw everything out of whack. And they just don't know if it was like my thyroid messed up, then my heart messed up, and then my kidneys did, or if it was like my heart was pumping too fast and then my kidneys messed up and then my thyroid. It was just like
Yeah.
there's no way to know the chain of events.
Yeah.
And it's not like there was an autoimmune disease that caused all of it to happen. So it's just like
Just
the biggest question mark.
Yeah, one thing caused
Nobody
the other.
knows.
At that point, when you caught it, it was like no way of knowing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. It's like, so I'm sorry, I'm like breathing really heavy, but it's just like such a hard thing to talk about still to this day
Yeah.
because like I remember it was like the worst headache of my life. Like it literally felt like someone was taking an axe down the middle of my head, and I was like couldn't open my eyes. Like I couldn't take pills at the time either.
Yeah.
And they came in and they were like, "We have Tylenol for you," and I was like, "I can't take Tylenol," and I threw up
Because
was
like you,
just
because like
puking everywhere.
pills, you just couldn't swallow pills.
Yeah, I couldn't swallow
Yeah.
pills. And I remember I was like throwing up, and I asked them, I was like, "Can I get up and go rinse my mouth out?" And they were like, "No, you can't," because
Yeah.
at that point my heart rate was at like 180, like almost 200. And they
Yeah.
were like, "No, if you get up, your heart's gonna like burst. Like sit down."
Oh, gee.
So I was like, "Okay," and that was not helping me calm down either. So
Yeah.
Yeah. What? After all that, like I know, knowing you went through dialysis. What was that like?
hell on earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to like make this all negative, because like I don't like making the whole situation negative. It was like something that made me into who I am.
Exactly.
And like
yeah.
who I am is making light of like the bad situations. So like dialysis was literally, I would not wish that on my worst enemy. Like I don't know anyone I would wish that on. That's horrible. Like it's literally you're sitting in a room full of people. There's no privacy.
I was about to say describe it for
Yeah.
people who don't know.
To set the scene, as Rob does.
There we go.
it's like a big room with all these big leather chairs, and they recline because you're in there for like 4 hours. Like sometimes people are in there for like 5 hours.
Yeah. It's probably like when we get our infusions.
Well, I was about to say, I
Exactly.
think that's exactly how Bree's job is. It's like you're going through this massive like life thing, cancer,
Yeah,
and they just put you in a chair in like a half circle, and everyone's
I
just
thought
sick,
it was
and
the
you're like,
weirdest thing. And the
Yeah.
first time I experienced it was in the hospital, and they just like take your bed down to a room, and they
Yeah.
like put you in there with a bunch of people.
Mm.
And I remember I was in the bed, and there was like a man across from me. It was like a little box, and in each corner of the room there was like a bed. The man across from me was like eating something, and I was watching a movie, and I looked up at him, and I looked over at him, and he threw up on himself.
nice.
And I was like,
Saw it.
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And then my mom was trying to feed me because I couldn't like, she was trying to feed me stuff, and I was like, no. I was like, not right now. I can't eat right now. This is like,
Yeah.
there's too much happening. But I started out at DaVita, which is like a really big dialysis company.
So when you started dialysis, you were already in the hospital. Like, so you have kidney failure. We need to start you on dialysis like ASAP.
Yeah. So I spent when I initially got admitted to the hospital, I spent 2 weeks in the hospital. The first week was at Big Wake.
Mm-hmm.
The second week was at Duke. And then they started me on dialysis at Duke.
Okay.
And they were like, because, I mean, they had no idea what to do.
That probably cost you $3.5 million.
Literally so
At
much money.
least.
And my father lost his job in the middle of all of this. And so my mom was like, well, my mom is also very religious. That's where I get my religion from.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, God's going to provide. We don't need to worry about it. He's going to provide. And like my dad found another job. So like God has provided for me all the way through my life.
Yeah.
So like we spent 2 weeks in the hospital. I did, I think, 3 dialysis sessions in the hospital. And then I left. and they set me up with a different unit. And then I would have to go, it was like 3 times a week for 4 hours. And it was like an hour away. So it was at 6 a.m. So I'd have to wake up at 5, drive all the way over there.
Yeah.
It sucked. It was not great.
Yeah. But eventually, you know, you do all this and you're in the middle of college too. So like, it's similar to like, not to like at all, but like, you know, we all have medical issues.
Yeah.
Ours is the exact same. But like, you're going through this serious medical thing in the middle of like growing up.
Yeah.
Like the huge transition of like your second year of college. That's where you're supposed to be figuring out like what you're doing for the rest of your life, basically.
Yeah.
I feel like that's when it gets super stressful too.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Like the second year, you're already like you've committed, and now you're like.
I remember being gone for 2 weeks and like going to my professors and being like, "This is why," and they were like,
Still
"Oh my
doing
gosh!" They were like, "This is why," and I was like, "Yeah," and they were like,
"You bring your scantron up?"
Yeah.
That's how some
you gotta
professors are. They'd be like, "Well, I don't care. It's due at
Yeah.
midnight." Like, come on.
So how was
Fortunately,
that
everyone
like?
at Wake Tech was very understanding.
Okay, that's good.
And like, but there were some people at like UNCG when I finally transferred to UNCG.
Which is your third year?
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Well, you were still on dialysis at this point.
Yeah, at this point I was still on dialysis. I was on dialysis for a total of 10 months, which was 10 months too long. But I went to...
It did its job.
It did its job. True. But I went to UNCG and I remember I had an economics professor and I missed a test because I was in the hospital because the port in my chest had gotten a staph infection and I had to go have it treated and everything. And he was like, "Well, sorry." And I was like, "Nope."
Insane.
I was like, no.
Yeah.
I need to retake the test I missed. I was like, what do I need to do to like make up for what I missed? And like,
how are you
worked.
that pathetic of a person?
It's crazy how people are like
Really?
in power, like just like are just dicks.
yes.
Like bosses, teachers, they're just like there's no like they don't
like
consider
the
real
rules
life.
can bend always.
Yeah, always. Like you just choose not to because you're an asshole.
It's a test.
It's a test. Yeah, she'll take it.
Sorry.
Like I'm sure you would be willing to take it.
I still failed it, but like I'll still take it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting. And then so 10 months of dialysis, so basically dealing with this for almost a year.
Yeah.
And then how was the, transition of finding out?
Oh my gosh. Finding out. I love telling how I found out about my
did you
transplant.
getting a kidney transplant, there's like a process, right? You have to get on a list and stuff. So like what was that like? And then
it was like one day that I had to spend entirely at Duke Hospital, not as a patient, but just like being there. And I had to like sit in a classroom and they had to teach you about it. They had to like give you a booklet and sit you down and show you a presentation. They had to have a financial officer come in and talk to you about how you were going to pay for it.
I ain't asked for this.
That's how my mom's was, her surgery. Like she was like, "Dude, this is so boring," but it's like they require it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wait, what was your mom's surgery for?
The weight loss surgery.
Oh, yeah.
Bypass,
Yeah, it was like they have to
Caddy's a queen.
True, queen. They have to like tell you everything that could happen.
Yeah, makes sense.
And like tell you about getting on the list and like all of the little ins and outs of being on the list. So I was like on the transplant list for a while, and it was like when you are on the list, you can't travel more than 6 hours away from the hospital.
Just in case.
Yeah, so I couldn't like take vacations, and then it was like, if you do travel 6 hours away, you have to let us know so we can put a pause on your name, because if we get an organ for you, you have to be here.
Hustle up.
Yeah, and they were like, so if you're 6 hours away, that's too much time. It's gonna die.
Yeah,
you need to be able to get in here. So they were like, we'll put a pause on your name, and then like if somebody donates for you, your health insurance covers everything for them. So
I was about to ask, can you hop up on the list? Because I know there's like 2 years wait list. Some people are like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah, mine was like.
How do you jump up the list if someone wants to do it for you?
Yeah. So and there's like ways that like, and I don't even remember like all of the little rules, but it was like, if somebody donates or wants to donate for you but can't donate directly to you, they can donate to someone else, and then somebody else can donate to you. And it's like a big like recycle like share program or something.
Like
I don't know, but it's like it's just like there's so many ins and outs to the list that you would never expect.
Yeah.
And like my blood type is O positive. My blood type is O positive. If anybody wants to give me a kidney.
O negative is the one though that can combine with anything.
It's both of them. O positive and negative.
O positive can receive.
So if you have O positive or negative, you can donate to anybody, but you can't receive.
You can only
receive O from people with O. if you
anything or positive?
anything. The like positive and negative don't really matter.
Okay.
They're just there.
Isn't it crazy we all have different blood types? Like,
Exactly.
Like
what in the
what?
world? We're still the same people. Like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
have you seen? I know it's kind of gross. My science teacher in middle school, she had different types of blood.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, "Who thinks this is so serious?" And I was like, "I mean, it's blood. Like, it's red." She combined 2 different types. That shit started fizzing. I was
Yeah.
like, "Hold up,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what in the
Crazy.
world?"
And like so they said to me, they were like, if we they're gonna test my blood, and they were like,
Yeah.
we'll see if like maybe you can get from somebody who's an A. Like if your antibodies are like so much so that they won't attack the blood, like you could receive from somebody who has type A.
That's still scary. I feel like.
Exactly. So it's literally insane. Like that whole process took I think like I don't know 8 hours. It was like being in school.
Yeah.
And like I was exhausted because they had to take all my blood. I think they took 6 jars and then 22 vials of blood from
Is it
me.
that picture?
Jars. What do you mean by jars?
Well,
Jesus.
I had a culture. I had to like have my blood cultured for like a staph infection that I had. So
Yeah.
it was like these jars, and then when they took the what was it? Just like regular labs. It was like 22 vials. I have a
Vials.
picture of it, but
Yeah,
Dang,
it's a
3.
lot.
I'm ready to pass out.
oh
Like,
my
yeah.
god, I fell asleep on a bench
Yeah.
in Duke. I was like going to see another doctor for something else, and I just literally fell
Yeah.
asleep. I was like out.
But eventually,
Yes,
you got the news.
I did. Yeah.
So, what was that like?
I was in dialysis. That was actually in Greensboro.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom, Wendy, and my dad called me. I was like, so when I was in dialysis, I would bring my laptop and I would do schoolwork.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a bag, and I always had my laptop. I had 2 pillows and then like 3 blankets. I had one to
You had
wrap
the
around-
routine down.
I had the routine down,
Yeah.
exactly. And so I was like doing homework,
That's crazy.
and I get a call from my sister, not my mom. I think she was too choked up to even say anything.
Yeah.
But Wendy called me and she was like, hey, like I just wanted to tell you that we have a Christmas present for you, but we can't give it to you like on Christmas. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
Sure.
why are you calling me then? Because I was like,
I'm in dialysis.
I know, I was like, I'm literally in the worst place on earth. Like,
Already pissed off.
Yeah.
already like uncomfortable
Doing
and annoyed.
homework.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, why are you calling me? And she was like, well, we found a donor. And I was like, immediately started crying.
Mm-hmm.
Just immediate tears.
Yeah.
And when you're in dialysis, there's these like dialysis technicians who like run the machine. They'll come over to you if you like the machine starts beeping, they're like, okay, we'll fix it, and they start fixing it, or they'll like check your port and everything. So there's always like technicians walking around or nurses. So they all saw me crying, and of course I'm the youngest person there, so I was like the baby. Everybody was already watching me.
Yeah.
So they all start like come running over to me, and they're like what's wrong? And I was like, I'm like
Yeah.
crying on the phone. I'm like, nothing. It's okay. I'm like, nothing. And I was like, well, like who? Like who in the world matched? Because for like the longest time, it was like months. We had this girl I went to middle school with. Her mom got tested. My mom and dad got tested, but they were too old. There's like so many factors that go into it. And then they were like, well, like our Bible study leader, Brad, got tested. And I
Your
was
parents'
like,
Bible study leader?
yeah. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Because he was young. He was like a young father. He had 2 young daughters. They were like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah.
And they were just like a young family. So I was like, oh my gosh, like that's crazy that he would want to do that. Because that's like putting yourself down for like 3 months. Like you're not going to be able to.
Yeah.
I saw Hillary, his wife, post something on Facebook, and she was like, I'm so happy he's doing this, but like I don't know how I'm going to explain to my daughters that like for 3 months their dad can't like pick them up and spend them around. And I was just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I feel so bad. And I was like, I just remember crying a lot and them crying.
Emotional.
And then we like hung up. I really cannot remember what was said. And everybody in the clinic was like, what happened? And I was like, I found a donor. And they were like, oh my gosh. And they they had balloons. I don't know why they
Where
had
you
balloons.
get balloons
I
from?
know. I was
Yeah.
like, for some reason they had balloons, but they like blew up balloons and tied it to my chair. And they were like, Samantha found a donor and this is so exciting. And I was like, yeah, this is great.
I wonder how the other people, like, obviously
Happy for you.
they're happy for you, but also like,
Yeah.
dang.
Yeah.
They're all so much older than me too. There was a mother and daughter who sat across from me, and
They're
like,
both on dialysis?
mhm.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
they were like old.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, like really old.
Yeah.
So I mean, not that that's any
Yeah.
excuse for being on dialysis. It still sucks. But yeah, they were just very much older than me. Anyways, but that happened on Corin's birthday actually, and I remember I came home to Corin and
You
I
nervous
was
to tell her? Yeah.
well, I told her and I was like, I don't have to say anything because we were going to go out to dinner for her birthday, and I was like, I'm not going to say anything to anybody.
Yeah.
I don't want to like take away from your birthday, so we'll just like
Yeah.
we'll keep this under wraps. And she was like, no, like, tell people. So,
Inside.
yeah, it was very exciting. And then I remember I called him, like, Brad, my donor, like, a couple days later, because I was just like, I don't know what to say to this person. And I called him, and I was like, thank you. And he was like, yeah, no problem. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then I hung up the phone, and I remember crying. I didn't cry on the phone with him, but then I hung up the phone and I was like, and I started crying and I was like, why am I crying, like, after hanging up with him? I just had no idea what to say to him because, like, bless you.
What do you say?
What do you say to somebody who
Just
was like,
grateful.
here, take a part of my body?
Yeah.
It's kind of
Like-
crazy you can do that. Like you said, doctors, like medical,
Yeah.
like advancements, like you're literally taking an organ
Yeah.
From
and
someone
putting it
else.
in somebody else. It's
Exactly.
like, what the heck?
And I don't know if you knew this, but probably because you know her, but they keep the other two in there. Like they just put, it's crazy. I was telling somebody about it today, how you had a kidney transplant at work,
Yeah.
and they're like, they keep it in there.
Yeah.
And it was Casey.
Because I think your other two kidneys are in your lower back. So it's like if you get a UTI, your like lower back will hurt because your kidneys will hurt.
Yeah.
And that's why for me, like when I have a UTI, my lower back and my abdomen will hurt because
they
I
just have
have a
that
kidney
thing
right in the front.
right there.
It's only a centimeter under my skin, so you can really feel.
It's crazy.
Do those two work, or they just left them in there? Cause
No, I mean, I don't really know, actually. I don't know what the function was exactly for them. I remember that, like, your creatinine is supposed to be, like, 0.5 to, like, 1. And mine was, like, 56.
Okay.
So, like...
Not working really well.
So mine was not working very well
Yeah.
at all. And I remember when they diagnosed me, it was, like, I was stage 4 renal failure, something like that. And it's like cancer. It's, like, stage 4 to 5. So it was, like, really bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But you got one.
I got one.
You know, I mean,
I got one.
you got one. You know, everything
Yeah.
worked out great.
Mm-hmm.
You're at a point now where you still have to take medicine and everything.
Yeah.
Is that like where you are now? I guess like, because you know it's like a part of your life to stay healthy. It's like, you know, you're dealt a certain you dealt a certain hand in life, but I mean there's like solutions to like almost every problem. It seems like. Fortunately for us in our case, like there's solutions. You know, but like having to like, you know, be on medication, is it a nuisance? Is it annoying? You just kind of like.
No, I mean, like, most girls take, like, birth control at, like, certain times a day. I don't feel like it's that different.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to, like, seem like my problems are worse than anyone else's.
Yeah.
I don't want somebody to feel like, I have a cold and feel bad for, like, telling me. Or, like, feel like I'm going to judge them for complaining about some kind of health problem they're going through because, like, no matter what it is, it sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's not fun.
Yeah.
Like, health problems are just so annoying.
I've always been annoyed, like, saying, like, oh, I'm tired. And someone's like, well, I work outside for 40 hours a week. I'm like, I mean, one, you chose that job, but two, like, that doesn't invalidate me being tired.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
Exactly.
Like, we can all feel how we want to feel.
Yeah, especially like when you're at like a super low point when like you're really sick, you know, when we're like shitting our brains out and like bleeding out our ass.
Yeah.
Or when you were literally on dialysis, like
Yeah.
with no functioning kidneys. It's like you're at this really low point to be where we are now, like super fortunate, really healthy.
You see how much you take for granted.
Yeah, you take it for granted.
Oh
so
my
like
gosh. Like,
other things, like you see people who are just like,
Yeah.
man, it's crazy. Like,
I couldn't take a shower, like a normal shower,
yeah.
because I had this like
Oh, yeah.
I had these tubes out of my chest. I had 3 in total, and like every time I had to take a shower, you couldn't get it wet or it would get infected. I didn't get mine wet; they still got infected.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Stupid.
And I would have to like saran wrap them. I literally had a process. I would take a piece of saran wrap, fold it up into a square, put it on top of it, and tape it down. Take another piece of saran wrap. I was like so meticulous about it.
Yeah.
And they still got infected.
I think
like,
that's what my aunt had to do when she had her plant.
Yeah, it's just like being able to take a normal shower and let your whole body be in the water is something you take for granted until you don't have it. And
Yeah.
like
you
when
couldn't probably you
No, go
couldn't,
ahead.
like swim or anything probably. Could you? Yeah.
No, and like I got diagnosed with everything in March, and then like summertime happened. I remember I went to the beach with my family and I had to like find a clinic, ask them if they could fit me in for just like a random, you know, like treatment in the middle of my vacation, and I had to go do it. And
How
then,
often?
It was 3 times a week. So
oh wow,
It's crazy.
when we went on that vacation, I think I only had to go once, fortunately.
Okay.
But again, like
Still.
when you're at the beach, like the air is so salty. My whole face exploded, like bloated as I could not see out of my eyes. I woke up in the morning and could barely like
Squinty.
open my eyes all the way because it was so like the water weight that I had retained, all the fluid I had retained because my kidneys don't work.
Yeah.
And like I would have treatment on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Or Saturday and Sunday. I went without treatment. So, like, by Sunday night, I had to literally sleep sitting up in my bed because I couldn't breathe. Because I had fluid, like, sitting on my lungs.
You look good now.
Thank you.
You feel good now?
I feel amazing now.
Yeah.
Aside from being stressed about talking about it.
Yeah. Well,
it's just like a panic.
100%. I think, like, talking about anything, like, traumatic, and that's definitely traumatic, you know. I think to kind of wrap it up, like,
sorry.
I'm trying not to, like, because, like, you're my girlfriend, I'm trying not to be,
I know.
But I'm trying to, like, guide it, but also be, like, a good host in the sense. I'm trying to, so one of my things I want to see, like, going through something that's traumatic, like, how has that, like, molded, what did I say? I wrote it down. How has that molded your mindset and, like, how you are as a person now? Like, going through that, like, has that changed your outlook on life? Like how you go about your life?
Like 100% it's changed who I am and, like, how I, like, do stuff and how I perceive things. And, like, there's good and bad. So, like, on the good side, I'm very tough. Like, it takes a lot. I had to have my appendix out. I've had to have my gallbladder out. When they came in and told me, it wasn't like I was scared. It was just like, okay.
Yeah, you're kind of numb to it.
Yeah, I'm just like, all right, surgery. I'm going to make it through. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I'm, like, very tough and very strong. I'm very jaded. Like, I'm self-aware enough to know that I'm very jaded, and I'm working on that side of myself so that when people tell me stuff and they're like, oh, gosh, like, I am just so anxious about this and this and this, I'm not like,
yeah, it's hard to have empathy for that,
Yeah, because, like, I mean, I was on dialysis, and I worked, and I went to school, and I still went to parties, and I hung out with my friends, and I made time for all of these things, and I just, like, I'm working on that side of myself that when I hear other people complain about their problems, I'm not immediately like, okay, I've been through something worse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can, like, lift the curtain and be like, okay, what they're going through is really tough for them because they haven't experienced anything differently. So, like, let me be a friend. Let me be a friend for them to, like, talk to so they don't feel, like, uncomfortable telling me about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
One quick question before, I think we should get into, like, the Disney stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Oh,
my
yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
One thing that I'm trying to do, it's so tough nowadays, but
Mhm.
have you ever, like, considered, like, I guess what you call, like, holistic, like,
Yeah.
greens, just maybe, like, fish and spirituality? I know you said you're spiritual, like, have you ever considered, like, switching to that kind of lifestyle?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because, like, the medicine I take, I, like, kind of have to take.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, shoot. For the dialysis diet was crazy.
Yeah.
No potatoes, no chocolate, no cranberries.
You're out right now.
No potatoes.
Yeah. It's, like, so many things you can't eat. So, like, I've thought about, like, doing different things, like, lifestyle-wise, like, eating different things, adding different things to my diet, but, like, the balance is so
it's hard.
tender for me that it's, like, hard to want to try other stuff. I don't know. I'm open to it, definitely.
We've tried the gluten and dairy free, and it's like
I haven't successfully really.
Yeah.
I've tried my best. Obviously, I've had hiccups already, but it's like you forget or like you realize how much stuff actually has like gluten, and you're like,
Yes.
wow, this is super hard. So like people who do switch to like a fully like vegan or green diet, I'm like, I don't know how you do it.
Powerful people, for
I
sure.
heard like, well, for in my circumstances, I'm sure like you as well. Like when for ulcerative colitis, like you're going through a flare up, like everything is sensitive. Like you can't eat anything that you're used to. So like when you're on medication that's working and you enter remission, you can eat whatever. I even like.
That was my medicine alarm.
You taking your medicine today, right? You took
I
it.
did, yeah.
You took it just the other. Okay. You kind of like. I kind of consider it to be like you kind of have like a step above everybody. Like I'm on this medicine that's like making my colon like work stronger and better in a sense. So I'm not as sensitive to foods as I was. However, that includes like McDonald's that I had last night. Like if I had McDonald's, which I'm not proud to admit, like if I had that like while I was on a flare up, I'd be fucking out for the count for like 3 days.
Yeah.
But it's like if I were in like. But now that I'm in remission, I can eat certain things that like I necessarily probably shouldn't be eating and be okay.
Yeah.
But I kind of, and it's at the same time it kind of sucks because like if I want to like make that transition to like a healthier lifestyle that I know I should, eating like those
it's so difficult too when you're young.
Yeah, because
like I don't want to eat like an old person.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not trying to eat oatmeal and like.
Yeah, greens,
plain
like
grits and stuff. Like I'm trying to like go out and have pizza with my friends.
That's
and
what my nutritionist. We get a free meeting every 3 months through work, and she's like, "It's got to be so tough. Like, you drink and suffer the consequences the next day by the bleeding because it raises your blood pressure and all that.
Yeah.
I didn't
And all
know
your
that,
friends,
actually.
all your friends are drinking. It's like, all right, do I want to suffer tomorrow, or you want to go out and eat
I
McDonald's?
want to have fun.
It's like you gotta weigh those pros and cons. Whereas someone who's not suffering from something can just be like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, celebrating my 21st birthday on dialysis and not being able to drink, and be like, I was literally, my present from my parents was a bottle of wine, and I was like, I can't do anything with this.
Thank you.
I was just like,
just put it on the shelf.
thanks.
Separation.
Yeah. Just like put it up on a shelf.
Yeah. But interesting. I think like in the long term, like we don't eat like super unhealthy. Like I know all of our lifestyles, like, you know, we can like, you know, we'll get fast food here and there.
I'm a
and, like,
sucker for Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
It's just a nightly snacking that I gotta cut down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, you know, things could be better, but I mean, we're not nutritionists.
It's about
balance
and progress, not perfection.
Exactly.
True.
As long as you're making those changes.
And you're aware of it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think that's all the negative stuff and some positive stuff. But I
Yeah.
know you're super like big on Disney, and I think a lot of people, and I know some people who applied for it, and you got lucky enough to get into the Disney College program.
Oh my gosh, so lucky.
So I think a lot of people have heard of that program. It's on the news and everything. Like,
where have you been if you haven't?
Yeah, like, under a rock.
Under a rock.
But you just want to talk about that? Like, that's a crazy experience.
Yeah, that was insane.
Yeah.
That took me so long to get into. And that actually kind of ties into my like kidney transplant, because I applied freshman year of college and I didn't know that you needed to have a semester under your belt. So they won't allow you, I mean, I don't know the rules nowadays because it's changed since COVID, but you had to have a semester of college under your belt before you applied, and I applied prior to that, and then I obviously, there's 3 parts to the interview process, and I didn't make it even through the first one, and I was like, why? And then I found out why, and I was like, oh, okay, that's valid. And then the second time, I got all the way to the phone interview. So the way that the interview process used to go, again, for any hopefuls out there, I don't know how it is nowadays, it was, you did a just basic like job application online, like where have you worked before, what's your education background, like that kind of stuff. And then it was a web-based interview where it was like, I am positive most of the time or not all of the time, and it was like you had to answer on a scale like strongly agree, strongly disagree. And then once you got past that you went to a phone interview where you talked to somebody from casting, and they like cast you and everything, and they like talk to you. So the second time I got all the way to the phone interview, and I waited and didn't get in, and was like absolutely crushed, like devastated, because I was like, oh, I'm absolutely going to get in. I got a phone interview.
I love Disney.
I love Disney. Like, why wouldn't they hire me? And they didn't. And I was like, okay.
My mom called me a princess.
My father always called me a princess. Why didn't I get in? But I didn't get in, and I was like, okay, ouch. And then I almost died, and I was like, okay. Like, God was probably saying, like, it's not time for you to move to Florida right now.
Yeah.
You need to stay back and learn a few things, and then you can go.
That was crazy, actually. Yeah.
Exactly. My mom pointed that out to me. She was like, that's probably why. Because she knew that, like, once you got down there, like, you weren't going to be able to do this by yourself. You needed to be here with family.
It's about family.
It's about family. Anyways, but then I applied. I, like, went to Greensboro and everything. I got my transplant. It was, like, oh gosh, like fall 2018, the fall semester of 2018, and I applied just literally, I remember sitting in my bed at 11 o'clock at night and being like, I'm just going to apply. I'm just going to see what happens. And I like obviously made it through the first like initial application. That's the easiest thing to go through. Made it through the web-based interview, because all they're looking for is for you to have distinct answers. They want you to like pick a side. They don't want somebody who's like, maybe I'm positive sometimes. They want you to be like, no, I am a very perky person, or no, I am a very helpful person. I will do this and this and this.
Yeah.
And then I got a phone interview, and I think I did it in my car. I didn't do it in the apartment because I was like, I'm gonna like sit in my car and like have some privacy, and I kept it a secret from pretty much everybody. I think I told like 1 or 2 people, and then I made it in, and I was like, oh. I was like, wait a minute, because I was living with my best friend at the time, and I was like, okay, so now I have to like figure out like living situations. I'm gonna move to Florida, and like I have to figure out where I'm gonna live, who I'm gonna live with, like am I gonna like the girls, am I gonna get along with them, which I did. It was not a big deal at all, and like it was quite literally like the best experience of my life.
Yeah. So like why, like just the foundation of Disney for you, why is it such a big deal to you in your like your life?
I'm gonna try and answer this and not sound like a gross Disney adult? Because
Disnoid you.
Disnoid. Because lots of people answer this, and I even listen to the like answers, and I'm like, okay, it's not that big a deal. But like,
That's how you feel.
yeah. I grew up on Disney. My mom worked at the Disney store for years. Like
in
when I was
Carytown Center.
in Carytown Center.
Probably went to that one multiple times.
Yeah. She worked at the Carytown Center Disney store.
She
And
remembers you. No.
I always used to climb, if you remember the big
The
animal display.
Plush
Yeah.
Mountain.
My mom would always have to yank me out because I would climb right to the top of it.
My mom always talks about how parents would just leave their kids there and be like,
Yeah, why not?
all right, and then just go walk around the mall. And she'd be like, no, don't do that.
Nowadays, you can't do that.
No, because they don't exist anymore.
Oh, true.
Yeah. Unfortunate. But
Yeah.
anyways,
Yeah, weird.
my mom worked at the Disney store for like most of my childhood, so I grew up, just like watching Disney movies. She loved Disney. She said the first time she ever went was when she got divorced.
To Disney World?
Yeah, she went with her sister, and it was like such a magical experience for them because she couldn't go when she was a kid because she had so many siblings.
Oh, so like, it was your mom. It wasn't like her parents. It was like
No, it was my mother.
Oh,
My mother got everybody on to Disney in my family.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
Good for her.
exactly. And I have had like other cousins do the college program. I had my cousin Felicity, Tripp, and Cody. So I had 3 cousins
but
prior
only-
to me.
But like your mom influenced like her siblings. Which
Exactly.
influenced their kids. And
She influenced everybody into
Crazy.
liking Disney.
not a bad thing to like.
No, definitely not. I mean,
Pros and
if you
cons.
hate capitalism, then yeah, it's a bad thing
Yeah.
to like. But but I mean, if you don't mind that, then.
If you like magic.
But if you like a mouse that wears little red pants,
This is the place for you.
then this is the place for you. But she was the one that got me influenced into Disney because I grew up with it all my life. She made me watch all of the Disney classics, the ones that even came out in like the 50s.
Yeah.
And so I would watch all of those movies as a kid, and then growing up, I went because she worked in the Disney store. She got a discount on tickets, so we went like 2 or 3 times a year as a
Yeah.
baby. So I just like grew up being in the parks, going back and forth from North Carolina to Florida and going to the parks and like just traveling and being there. And I don't know, I don't think it was something that as a kid I noticed where I was like, oh my gosh, like I want to be like them one day. It was just kind of like a thing where I was like, this is my favorite place ever. Like
Yeah.
I love being here.
Everything's
Imagine
so
what it would be
positive and
like.
happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine what it'd be like to work here. So it wasn't like I want to create magical experiences for everyone. It was like I just have grown up seeing
This place is dope.
all my life, and this
Yeah.
is so fun, and it makes me happy. Like, of
Yeah.
course I want to work here,
It'd be like me growing up watching people play hockey, and then it shows like I want to be.
and they just want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like something you see for your whole life, and you want to do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's so,
But not to play like devil's advocate because I know Disney's like positive, super exciting, but I have heard stories of like overworked employees.
That's a
It's
big
not
thing
as
right now.
magical behind the scenes.
yeah.
Did
I
you
feel like it
experience
can
any
be.
of that?
Me personally, because I was a college program like intern, I don't think I experienced the burnout that most like full-time cast members feel.
Yeah.
I know right now they're going through a big thing where they're just advocating for higher wages for the cast members. I think they don't get paid very much. Which, I mean, if you don't pay your cast members to be happy to be at their job, you're going to ruin the experience for your guests.
Exactly.
And that's not what Walt Disney would have wanted.
Probably
Not
what's
to
going on at
speak for the
Disneyland.
man,
Yes.
but like, yeah, it's just like, what did you say?
I said that's probably what's going on at Disneyland based off our experience.
Oh my god.
It's another podcast.
The cast, that's another. That's
No,
another.
But
Point.
yeah, they were just like it was just different. It was.
Yeah.
It was
I
different.
was like,
As somebody who worked in Florida,
yeah.
it was different.
Yeah.
Like-
and I was like, I've only been to Disney World once when I was like 8, so I don't really remember like the experience of Disney World. But when I went to Disneyland, it was just like ghetto. Because like it's like Disney World is like it's like if you go down, it's like it's a whole different world. Like
Yeah.
you could leave Disneyland, there's homeless people. Like,
No, for real.
Yeah, it's funny they like the
There was a
layout.
man cooking hot dogs outside of the entrance.
Yeah, the one day I wanted hot dogs.
He wasn't
selling,
there.
They were selling, but it was a whole. We were leaving. It was the second day, right? And the first day we left Disneyland, we went for a birthday. We were leaving the first night, and we were all just so hungry. I was like, "Oh, there's hot dogs." We already ordered pizza, so I was like satisfied with that. But there's a guy like grilling like sausages outside. Like those look fucking fire. And then so the second day we're leaving, our last day, I was like, I am so hungry. This is gonna hit. And like we're like 150 yards away, and I see a stand. I'm like, the fucking hot dog guy.
Hey.
They're selling like bananas on a stick. I was like, no way. Like,
It
are
was
you serious?
literally a fruit stand.
Who wants fruit when you're leaving
You were
Disneyland?
leaving Disney.
I want
Like,
some meat.
I want a hot dog. Where'd the guy go? But whatever. But yeah, no, Disney World. Based off like pictures and vlogs and stuff I've seen, it seemed like it was a really cool experience, especially
so
like
much fun.
a Disney like college program. Like they probably it seemed like they kind of like had like that thing on lock. It seemed like they knew what they were doing.
They literally have it on lock. They have these college kids wanting
Mm-hmm.
to work for them, like begging to be the minimum wage, like low on the totem pole employees.
Yeah.
Like 6'2". Well, they don't do this anymore, and I'm pissed about it. Because I got accepted back again for 2020. And I was supposed to go back.
That's right.
I'm so upset. It still bothers me to this day. I was supposed to be a character attendant, so I was supposed to be the person who got to walk characters around and be the one who was like, oh my gosh, Mike loves your special, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, I was supposed to be that person, and it got canceled because of COVID, whatever. Yeah. We don't need to dwell on the negative. At least I got accepted. But, like, I just literally, like, once I got accepted for 2020, they had this apartment complex where you got your individual room. You had a queen-size bed. You had your own bathroom. There was a kitchen. There's like, when I lived there, it was 6 of us in a 3-bedroom apartment. And we had twin-size beds, and you shared the room with one other person. And, like...
Mosquitoes.
Dorm room living on steroids.
Yes. And you paid, like, so much money. I think my rent, it was, like, each person paid $125 a week. So, like, I don't know what the math is on that, but, like...
Any money you made back just went back to them, basically.
And, I mean, it worked out because, like...
That's an experience.
It's an experience. And, like...
$3,000, I think.
Yeah.
I was running that because $500 a month each person.
Yeah.
And there's 6 of us in there.
6, so yeah.
Oh, my gosh. I'm going to tell you right now, that apartment was not worth $3,000.
That's how they get you.
Not in Florida in the swamps, no. Mm-hmm. But, like... Oh, my gosh. I just know that nowadays, like, if I interview for a job, they're not asking me about, like, what urgent care are you working at right now? Like, oh, this is so cool that you went to UNCG. They're like, you worked at Disney?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Yeah.
Like, it's the biggest resume booster that you could ever have because Disney is about perfection.
Yeah.
They don't do things halfway. They do things 100%. So it's, like, such a big resume booster for me, too. And, like, I made some really great friends while I was down there, and I made some really awesome memories, and there's videos that were on YouTube about it. And so I just have all these really fun memories to look back on in my favorite place. So.
Yeah. Speaking of perfection, I don't think I've had them, but the chicken nuggets, not McDonald's, but
best nuggets I've ever had in my life.
Disney.
You still think about McDonald's from last night?
Mouse beats me to death. But that's what I heard. I heard the nuggets were really good.
I lived off of those things for
those
a week.
chicken tenders.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Was because you went to the program like only a couple months after your transplant, right?
I think it was like.
Was it a year?
I think I had been a year past my transplant. I think it was actually a year.
So like
because I got accepted in like September of 2018 and then I moved there January of 2019.
Okay.
So it was like a full
2017.
year. Yeah, it was like a full year post transplant. But I did go to Disney 3 months after my transplant.
That's right.
Just like on a family trip.
Yeah.
And I remember my my transplant coordinator was like, okay, like if you're riding rides, like put a bag in front of your incision because I had like this 4-foot-long scar on my stomach. So she was like, make sure it's covered so that nothing hits it.
Yeah, was like I guess it's a year after, so like you're kind of in like a regular routine at that point. But like, was it like you're moving away? You just had a kidney transplant like a year ago. Kind of like was it kind of like a nuisance? Not like a nuisance, but like you're like, okay, I gotta make sure I stay because you're already in a routine. So I guess like now you're just kind of ready to like do something new with this program.
Well, like post transplant, it was like I had to be back in there like every month for like labs and stuff.
That makes sense, yeah.
And then once I got down there, I only think I went once, which maybe that was bad of me.
But once for labs while you were there?
Once for labs while I was there, yeah. But I think maybe I wasn't supposed to do that.
But you weren't drinking either, right? So that's probably...
Yeah, no. I was very, like... Well, when I was at Disney, I didn't drink. But I just remember that, like, I think it was, like, summer 2018, I drank a little bit. But 2019, I did not drink. I was like down there and I was like, I don't really want to. I just want to like vibe and like be at Disney.
Yeah.
I hated Epcot because I did not want to drink.
Yeah.
All my roommates were like, let's go drink around the world.
Now.
I was like, now if anybody wants to go drink around the world, we're all gonna go drink around the world.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
But on that note, I know you say it's like a resume booster. I guess like what I'm trying to ask is like, are you 100% happy where you're at now? Or are you thinking about like maybe trying to find something else? Or can you see yourself long term where you're at now?
I could see myself long term where I'm at now, only because I always said this during my transplant. I've always said this when I was at like Disney. I was like, I could work this forever. Like they even asked me to stay on. They were like, you could be managing this restaurant that you're hosting at. Like you should stay on and like extend your program, and then once you extend your program, we can put you in management school and we can do this and this. Like Disney was willing to do a lot of stuff for me, but I'm very family oriented, and I was like,
definitely.
No, like North Carolina is where I'm supposed to be because that's where my family is. Like that's where my little sister is, my mom and my dad.
So you don't see yourself ever going to Disney full time?
I think I satisfied that part of myself.
You did.
And
unless they got a remote accounts payable job.
I mean, shoot, if they have a remote like finance job, I'll take it. But like
remote character.
A remote character. Oh, who?
Kids would be like, what?
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Gosh, but yeah, just on jobs, like, what's your day to day like now? Like, I guess your routine to move on to like now.
You do ice
We can
baths?
talk about the future, but you're now.
Yeah.
Like, are you happy with your routine? Do you feel like you have enough time, or is there work stress? Like, how are you managing all that?
Yeah. Personally, I'm very satisfied. As somebody who like.
You're a very positive person.
Yeah, as somebody who was like didn't have a lot. Like my day was dictated in the past by other people, by like other things that I had no control of.
Yeah.
My routine now is real simple, and I'm fine with it. I'm good. Like I wake up, I clock into work, I work for a little bit. At like 10:30 or 11, I go run across the street, which is like literally 2 minutes away. Go to Starbucks, maybe grab Chick-fil-A, come back to my apartment, make myself lunch, and then finish out the day, and then see what my sister's doing, see what Mikey's doing. Like
I was gonna ask, like, what is something you do every day that makes you happy and calm? I was like, probably Starbucks.
Go to Starbucks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so dumb. Like, I bet people would probably listen to this and be like, she's so basic.
No, because I've told Robert about it. It's like we talked about it before on like probably like the first or second podcast. Like just like getting out of like your workspace and like just like a 10-15 minute drive. Just like so.
I stepped out on our front porch this morning and just like breathed in the outdoor air, and I was like, God, that's therapeutic. Like literally not being inside is just like so nice.
I've seen a bunch of people say just like the warm weather, and it's starting to slowly stay lighter, darker. It feels like you took a Molly. Like it's like whoa,
it's like a warm
blanket. So much better.
Yeah.
Like just going outside, not having to wear a jacket, I can walk out shirtless or with a tank top. Like I do that all year round. But you just feeling the rays. I immediately am like, all right, I'm gonna go back and kill like my job. Like I feel so much better.
Rejuvenated. The sun energy. Photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis. We're all just plants.
All just plants. We're all growing.
You guys are plants, but
yeah.
But I'm not.
No,
I'm not.
But I definitely have been impressed by you. Since I've got to know you, like,
Thank you.
And like where you are now is pretty impressive. You know, now that I'm like closer to you now, I'm like more like keen on like your health side.
Yeah.
Now that I get to like know it more, so I'm like taking medicine. So
I don't like complaining.
yeah, which you know, you should know that you should be able to complain.
I know.
You think you learn?
I'm leaving.
Yeah. Literally just had a gallbladder out less than a week ago.
I did have my gallbladder out on Thursday last week.
Yeah, so you're killing it.
I don't think you have too many options left. What else can be taken out?
I was saying, I'm like, bro, I have my gallbladder out. I have my appendix out. Anything that could cause a problem is gone.
Wisdom teeth, right?
Wisdom teeth are out.
She's out. Wow, that's crazy.
Everything that could, like, cause a problem is out.
Yeah, you're chilling.
It's gone.
Now.
So I'm chilling now. Good. Until I need another transplant, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm
Which,
waiting.
Maybe, they won't have to.
Maybe I'll get a pig kidney.
True. Maybe you don't even need a transplant. Maybe you're chilling.
True.
Either way, it can be alright.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think we've been talking for a minute. This is what I like. Where we going with this?
Solid.
But maybe like we could wrap it up like favorite memory of all of us, something that we've like done.
I like that. I'm gonna have to think for a second.
Because like a lot of experiences.
Like all three of us, or can
I think
it be
so.
like...
That it could be whatever. Honestly.
Because I have a favorite memory with Rob. And I have a favorite, like, obviously, like, I have a favorite memory with you or my boyfriend. But, like, I have a favorite memory with Rob, too.
Yeah, I think I know what that one is.
And I think he knows what it is, too.
I think so. Share that while I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. We went to Nashville for our friend JT's birthday, and there was like we went to a bar. There was like a live band playing. Leading up to this trip, Rob and I had been like, we are gonna like go to Nashville and we're gonna do the Boot Scoot Boogie. It's gonna happen. We have been practicing. Literally, we had been practicing. Anytime we got together, I put it on the music and I was like, get up, we're doing it. But we asked the band and they were like, oh, we don't know how to play that. And they were like, but we do know this one song that kind of sounds like it.
Play something country.
Yeah. And they were like, we'll play something that kind of sounds like it. And so they started playing it, and like literally it was like out of a movie. Like the crowd parted.
We
it was
cleared
like this,
the dance floor.
Yeah, it was like the biggest circle, and me and Rob were in the middle and we were doing the Boot Scoot Boogie, and like people tried to jump in, but they just couldn't keep up.
I tried.
You could have if you really wanted to.
I didn't know it.
You knew it.
I was a little faded.
We all were. But, I mean, that's probably why we think this is, like, a movie. Because we were all faded. But, like,
we were
it was literally
stupid
like...
for sure.
Imagine it's just 3 people.
Yeah.
We thought it was, like, this big crowd. It was just 3 people. They were like, what are they doing?
Can y'all leave?
Can you guys get out of the way? But we felt like it was literally, like, the biggest deal. And after that, we were both like, we're going to be talking about this forever, bro. This is so crazy.
Yeah.
So
someone recorded it, I think. Like, not friends, but...
people did record it.
I wish we could have, like, asked them.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone... Oh, that's
it's something we will remember.
Yeah.
And then, do you have one with him?
No.
Because I'm still thinking.
That one came to my mind really fast because obviously...
Yeah.
I have so many memories with you.
Mm-hmm.
Disneyland. Shoot. Flying together for the first time, traveling together for the first time.
True. Traveling in general with your significant other tells you how your relationship is.
Yes. He is a saint.
Because there's a lot of tension.
He's a saint. Like, I would be, like, hungry, tired, upset. I literally cried in Disneyland because I was not feeling well. And he was like, we're good. Like, everything's fine. Don't worry. And I was like, no, I'm, like, tired. And he was like, it's okay. You're fine. Like, Mikey is literally the best person to travel with. He's a saint. I think another favorite memory is, like, going to stay with Tim and Paul in New York or in Jersey City. Yeah, and, like, staying in their apartment and getting to see the city across the Hudson River. Yeah. And getting our picture taken over there.
Yeah. No, definitely. Just traveling in general. It's like... I probably like for both of you guys, I think, traveling. Getting all of the bills from the tolls in the mail. Yeah, months later. Literally 2 months later being like, why? Still?
I owe $180?
Yeah. But what's one?
30,000?
All of us together.
All of us together?
Yeah. Mine, I was going to say, is like your lake house. I just love getting away from like society. Yeah. And just being in like the woods and like outdoors. That's where I like.
By body of water.
Thrive. And by body of water. Like, just like going to your lake house, playing games, blasting music, and just getting like plastered. Yeah. Because like you don't. It's a weekend. You know you have work the next week, and you just got there on a Friday. Yeah. The moment the grill pops on,
time like stops.
Yeah. You don't even think about it.
No,
like, you don't even think about like what's
like those weekends don't feel like weekends. They feel like a week. Like I don't feel like that lasts like and not in a bad way. Like you know how people would say like ugh, I feel like that lasted a year. Like no, this
a pause in time. It's perfect way to describe it.
It's just so nice.
But I just love getting to the lake, cracking a beer. Propane on music. Usually I'm the one hopping on the grill. Oh, yeah. Everyone else fucking around, and then the vibes just immediately are like hell yeah. So I think just going to your lake house is like such a great vibe.
I think my favorite memory of the two of you is when you made Emily's friend so upset.
Which was at the lake house.
Which was at the lake house. I just remember sitting there seeing her get upset and being like, what?
Yeah.
They told us we were being shy, so we kind of opened up.
So it was a whole gathering. It was probably like it was. So it's technically like Emily's dad's lake house, right?
Yeah, it's like the family.
But like he's the one that like maintains it. So
he maintains it the most out of all the siblings.
Your cousin Emily, a couple of her friends, and then like our friend group. Yeah. And we were all there, and me and Rob, like we're pretty tight.
We're shy at first.
We're shy at first because like our comedy can be like a little.
To be fair, I had told them. I was like, hey, like, when they come up, like, just so you know, like, Rob and Mikey are really funny. Like, they're so funny. You just have to, like, break down that wall. Yeah. They're like...
I think we're shy because, like, our humor, like you were saying,
It's hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta feel out the people first. Like,
Yeah.
can I
Yeah.
do this? Can
Can I
do
fuck with
this?
you?
Yeah.
Like, not like can I you fuck with people, but like can I fuck with you like comedy wise? Like,
yeah, can I
poke
get along
fun.
with you? Are you gonna understand what I'm saying and not take offense to it?
Yeah,
Exactly.
which was not the case in this scenario. Her friend, we were playing some drinking game, like on a table like this. Me and Rob were next to each other,
Yeah.
and the girl was in front of us. And then she was like, "You guys like aren't talking or whatever." So we're like, "Okay."
But what's funny is like there's a video prior to this of her bringing like a Smirnoff Ice to like you or Rob and being like, "Oh, take a knee, like drink this."
Yeah,
and
so
blah,
it
blah,
seemed
blah.
like a vibe.
Everything seemed fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, me and Rob, we were getting some alcohol in us, getting more sociable. We started talking a little shit. It's mid-pandemic, so we were like maybe after. I don't really remember. I don't want to get too political. I don't get in trouble.
Yeah.
But I remember for some reason, the joke to her, we kind of like started talking to her. Not even like talking to her, just kind of like talking shit towards her, I guess. Like
Yeah.
something about being a CVS cashier.
It's like she said one thing and it wasn't even about her. It's
We
like you
took
took
within,
what
right?
she said and like made a joke about it.
Yeah.
That's our comedy. We hear something and
Yes.
then we
We
run
were-
with
Yeah.
it.
yeah, and it's so funny to us, and like usually, like typically people find it funny just because like it's like
Yeah.
us saying it.
That was the
And-
biggest compliment I've ever received was after that you were like, "You can take a joke. Like
Yeah.
me and Mike can joke with you and you're
Yeah.
We
fine."
had alcohol. We were like, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa,
Yeah.
stop.
Because
So
I
we
came
were
out
like-
to talk to you guys and you were like, "See, like we can joke around with you," and I was like,
Yeah, because we were like, she said something about being like a CVS cashier, and like obviously like she probably wasn't a CVS cashier, but like CVS, related to like pharmaceuticals, mid-pandemic, so
I
like
think she wanted
CVS
to be a
cashier.
pharmacist, and you were like, "Oh, like CVS,"
like
and then she
CVS.
was like, "No."
So
and
we
then,
were like, thank
yeah.
you for your service.
We
Yeah.
assumed she was giving vaccines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, thank you for
Is
your
where
service.
my
Thank you for your
mind was.
service. Yeah, we're like, you are like, frontliners. So thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't think it was too political, too edgy.
No.
And all of a sudden, like, we're just joking around saying that, and then she's like, "You guys fucking like I've been talking shit all day. You won't shut the fuck up." We're just like,
yeah.
me and Robert. I was like,
The silence.
yeah,
like
'cause,
literally everyone shut up. We were all like,
yeah,
What?
because I
That
thought it
was
was a
majority
funny.
our friends though. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
so everyone was on our side, but like it was just like I've never been put in that position where I was like shook, but like it was so funny at the same time because like I couldn't comprehend.
it was so weird because
Yeah.
like I was sitting there listening, and I remember like it became like this whole it's spiraled out, and like my mom found out about it and stuff, and I was
alcohol
like,
is flowing.
alcohol is
So
flowing,
much more sensitive.
like things. Yeah, people are obviously gonna be more sensitive when they've been
Yeah.
drinking.
She's seen a lot. She's a frontliner.
She's thank you for your service. and I can like, I literally can't understand. I can't understand. Like I try and empathize, but like I can't understand because like she didn't say like she didn't work at CVS.
Yeah.
So you guys being like, thank you for your service for working at CVS. You don't work at CVS, so what are
Yeah.
you offended about?
She couldn't explain it, or like it
Yeah.
never came to fruition what the problem was. Like,
And
she
you guys weren't talking to her. You were talking about something
Yeah.
she said, and you were talking to each other, and I was just like, okay.
yeah, we were
like,
kind of like poking fun towards her, just like talking shit, but like I don't see how that would be offensive. I don't know, not to be ignorant, but it was just so funny. And like I remember like looking through the window on the outside and like seeing like the three of them.
It was a reality show.
It
I was
really
like, I was
was.
like looking at them talking to the
Yeah.
room. And she's like, "Man, this boy." I was like, I thought it was so funny because like
I wish that we had like gone up to people and like did like a little candid camera and been like, what are you thinking about what's happening right now?
but yeah, I think that's a really.
We all went down to the lake after that. Though, like nothing happened. I think.
Yeah,
And
we all
started
chilled out
like
and, like,
playing
hung
a
out.
game or something.
Yeah.
And even the next day, like she and her other friend left, and Emily was the only one there with us. And I remember we all like hung out and
it was
like,
vibe.
yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I think memories at the lake with all you guys is a very core memory.
yeah,
That beach trip that one
We should
time.
do that again.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
I
should,
agree. I
over the
agree.
summer.
It's just always nice being by a body of water when it's warm, or not even has to be warm. Just
yeah,
in that environment. Obviously traveling with like just like to be separate, like traveling with him in St. Louis, core memory. Traveling with you. Just in
That was
general.
again traveling. That was the first time. Like I think me and you like
Kind of
like bro,
yeah.
just kind of pissed off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like
But it's a lot.
Yeah, like wasn't serious, but also at the same time it was
Just frustration.
It's frustration, yeah, which like it happens.
traveling can be so overstimulating.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Just like so much happening.
because we've never been to Disneyland. I didn't know what to expect. But
And being like verbally assaulted by cast members at Disneyland is like so
Yeah.
upsetting. So
yeah.
What's up? What's up?
yo, what's up? You can't walk down this way? Actually, I can.
Yeah, but I think we all just kind of like have like a similar comedy of like we've always gotten along. It's been nice.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate enough to have you close in my life as well. That's been nice. But yeah, I think I don't know.
I think that was a solid episode.
think
If
it's
you want
solid.
me to be
Yeah.
honest.
Hey, anything you want to say? You want to shout out
Shout out Wendy. Shout out Bree.
Yeah, true. Shout out the woman.
Shout out Mackenzie, my best friend.
True.
Shout out everyone.
Corin. Shout out everybody. Yeah.
I don't know. I thank you for coming on.
Yeah, of course. This was
How
so
did
fun.
I do? Like as your boyfriend, as a host.
Oh my gosh, amazing! 100% out of all.
Cool. Well, thank you. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm happy. This, I think.
Thanks for having me on, you guys.
She's gonna have to sign the table
Yeah,
I
it's
am
on the
gonna
table.
have to sign the
as
table.
per tradition.
I better be on the Instagram story.
Oh yeah.
For sure. At some point, I'll edit this, but we know closing out.
I was about to say we're not good.
We're not good. At
Bye.
closing out. So
There you go.
yeah. Bye.
Bye.